Hey guys, welcome back again. So in this video we are going to discuss 1.2 exercise of 10th class first chapter real numbers. Okay guys, so already we have discussed the basic introduction part, exercise 1.1, theorems, example problems, everything else in the previous videos. If you didn't watch, go and watch that first. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the exercise 1.2, and before that we have given some theorems. Let us discuss that first, then we'll enter into the exercise 1.2. Okay, so let's see what is the theorem. Let p be a prime number if p divides a square, then p divides a, where a is a positive integer. First understand the theorem. So what is given here? Here p is a prime number. Okay, so this p divides a square, then p divides a, where a is a positive integer. We have to prove that. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we'll write whatever given here. Okay, so given p is a prime number or prime factor, and a is a positive integer. A is a positive integer. Okay, here given p is a prime number and a is a positive integer. So now what we are going to do here, as a is a positive integer, let us first take out the prime factorization of a. Okay, let the prime factorization of a, p1, p2, okay, then p3 and so on. Okay, we are assuming the prime factorization of a will be p1, p2, p3 and so on to pn. Okay, here what are these p? Where p1, p2, p3 and so on, pn are prime numbers or prime numbers. Okay, so if a equal to p1, p2, p3, then if I take a square, so a square can be written as a into a, right? So here a, what are the prime factors of a? p1, p2, p3 and so on, pn, means p1, p2, p3 and so on, pn. Okay, multiplied by again a factors we have to write as p1, p2, p3 and so on, pn. Then what will get? p1 square, p1 into p1, p1 square. Okay, then p2 square, then p3 square and so on to pn square. Okay, up to here have you got understood? But here we have given p divides a square, so we'll write it. But we have given p divides a square, so p divides a square. If you see this, p divides a square, which means I'll write it here, p divides a square means a square is divisible by p. So if a square is divisible by p, then a is also divisible by p. Why? Because we have seen in the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, which says every composite number is a product of prime factors. Suppose let me take 4 is a composite number, right? 4 is a composite number. If 4 is divisible by 2, if 4 is divisible by 2, then 4 square is also divisible by 2. 4 square is also divisible by 2. Are you getting my point? If 4 is a composite number, okay, if 4 is divisible by 2, then 4 square which means 16 is also divisible by 2. That is what here also. See here 4 square is nothing but a square. A square is divisible by 2 means p, then a is also divisible by p according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic. That is what I am trying to explain you here. Okay, so and one more thing here, What are the prime factors of a square? P1, P2, P3. Means in that factors we are having one P also, which is a prime number. Okay, let me write here. Since P is a prime factor of a square. Here see, if here P is a prime factor of a square, then we can say that P is also a prime factor of A. See, if P is prime factor of A square, then P is also a prime factor of A. Okay, so from this we can easily say that P divides A. So from this we can easily say that P divides A. Okay, have you understood this theorem? Okay guys, this is all about this theorem. Now we'll see the next theorem, which is, so guys, now we'll see the next theorem, which is root 2 is irrational. So we have to prove that root 2 is irrational. So to prove that root 2 is irrational, first we'll assume that root 2 is rational. Okay, let's see. So let us assume root 2 is rational. Okay, let us assume root 2 is rational. So if a number is said to be a rational, then it should be in the form of P by Q. Okay, if any number is in the form of P by Q, then only we can say that is a rational number. So if we are treating root 2 as rational number, then it should take P by Q form. Okay, for that we are taking root 2 equal to P by Q or else A by B. So you can take A by B or P by Q. Okay, where A comma B belongs to Z. Z is nothing but Z is a symbol of integer. So A and B belongs to integers and B not equal to 0. Okay, have you got this point? So here A and B are the co-prime numbers, and A comma B are co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers. So what do you mean by co-prime numbers? Co-prime numbers are nothing but it should have the common factor 1. Only 1 should be a common factor for both. So let me explain you what are co-prime numbers. So I am taking 3, 4, which are co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers are nothing but it should have only 1 as common factor. Okay, let's see what are the factors of 3. 3 factors are 1 and 3 itself. Okay, and what are the factors of 4? 4 factors are 1, 2 and 4. If you see in both the factors, then you will get 1 as the common factor in both the numbers. Then if 1 is a common factor in both the numbers, then we say 3 and 4 are co-prime numbers. Okay, are you getting my point? So here also I am taking A and B are co-prime numbers. It means it has a common factor only 1. Okay, so let's do this. Root 2 equal to A by B. Okay, if I send B to that side, then it will become B root 2 equal to A. Okay, now what I am doing? I am just squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. Then what happened? B root 2 square equal to A square. Okay, it means B square into root 2 whole square equal to A square. Here square and square root get cancelled, then it will become 2B square equal to A square. Okay, 2B square equal to A square. So if you observe this, we can say that here 2 is dividing A square. Here 2 is dividing A square, which means 2 divides A square. If 2 divides A square, then 2 also divides A. How I am saying this? From the theorem 1.2. So from theorem 1.2, what we have discussed in the previous theorem, if P divides A square, then P also divides A. From that theorem, I am writing this. Okay, if 2 divides A square, then 2 also divides A. Okay, so again I am writing 2 divides A. So here I am treating this as equation 1. Okay, now what I am taking 2 divides A is nothing but A factors will be product of 2 into something. Let me explain you here. Just see. 2 divides A is nothing but A is equal to product of 2 into something. Are you getting this? Okay, let me explain you. In the place of A, I am taking 4. Okay, so this is the rough part. Okay, I'm just explaining you how the next step will come. In the place of A, I'm taking 2. Then 4. What are the multiples of 4? 2 into something. Here something is nothing but 2 2's 4. If I take 8, then what are the products of 8? What are the factors of 8? 2 into 4. Okay, understood? It means A is equal to 2 into something. Here as A is a variable, then here also I have to take a variable. That's why I am taking as C. Why I am taking C, not other variable, means already I have taken A and B. So the next variable is C. That's why I am taking C. So let A equal to 2C. Now you got this, how this came? So I have explained you here. Okay, let A equal to 2C. Now what I am doing, I am subtracting this A value here. Okay, then 2B square equal to A square. So 2B square equal to, in the place of A, I am taking 2C. 2C whole square. Here A square is there, that's why 2C whole square. Okay, then what happened? 2B square equal to 4, 2 2's 4, C square. Okay, here 2 1's, 2 2's. Then B square equal to C square. Okay, here B square equal to C square. So from this we can say, so B square equal to 2C square. Okay, so we can write it as 2C square equal to B square. Okay, so now if you observe this part, we can say that here 2 is dividing 2, here 2 divides B square. Here 2 divides B square. Okay, if I send 2 to that side, then it will be in the division form. So here 2 divides B square, then 2 also divides B. From theorem 1.2. Okay, as it is above, here 2B square equal to A square. Here 2 divides A square, then 2 also divides A. In the same way here also, if 2 divides B square, then 2 also divides B. Okay, so let's take this as second equation. Okay, if you observe clearly here, equation 1 and equation 2, from 1 and 2, let's see what happened. So from equation 1 and equation 2, 2 is dividing A and B. Okay, from equation 1 and 2, it is clear that 2 divides A and B, which means 2 is the common factor of A and B. Okay, which means 2 is the common factor of A and B. So what I told you, if A and B are co-prime numbers, then their factor, then 1 should be a common factor. 1 should be a common factor, but here what we get, we get 2 as the common factor, which is wrong. So this contradicts the fact that A and B are coprimes in which one should be a common factor. Okay, so here 2 is the common factor of A and B. That's why this contradicts means it is opposite. So opposite to the fact that A and B are coprimes in which one should be a common factor. Therefore whatever we assume here, we assume that root 2 is rational number. So our assumption root 2 is rational is wrong. Okay, so therefore our assumption is wrong. Here our assumption is nothing but root 2 is rational number. So root 2 is rational number is wrong, means root 2 is irrational number. So therefore root 2 is irrational number. Hence proved. Okay guys, have you understood this? Now we'll see the next example. Example 5 is prove that root 3 is irrational number. So this is also same as the above problem. Root 2 is irrational number. Okay, let's do this one also. So we have to assume that, let us assume that root 3 is rational. Okay, let us assume that root 3 is rational. Okay, then what happened? Root 3 equal to A by B, where A comma B belongs to Z, which means integers, and B not equal to 0. And A and B are coprimes. Okay, A and B are coprimes. Then see what happened. So root 3 equal to A by B. Then if I take B to that side, then it will become B root 3 equal to A. Okay, now I am doing squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. Okay, then what happened? B root 3 whole square equal to A square. Okay, then B square root 3 whole square equal to A square. Square root get cancelled. Then 3B square equal to A square. Okay, 3B square equal to A square. From this we can say that 3 divides A square. 3 divides A square, then 3 divides A. So this we are telling from the theorem 1.2. From theorem 1.2 we can say that if P divides A square, then P divides A. So in the same way I have written this. So this is equation 1. Okay, now let A equal to, if 3 divides A, then A is equal to 3 into C. 3C. Okay, 3C. Then, so now I am subtracting this A value in this 3B square equal to A square. Then what happened? 3B square equal to, in the place of A square I am taking this. That means 3 into C whole square. That means 3B square equal to 3 3s 9 C square. 3 1s 3 3s. Then B square equal to 3C square. Okay, B square equal to 3C square. We can write it as 3C square equal to B square also. Okay, vice versa. So from this we can say that 3 divides b square. 3 divides b square. Then 3 divides b. Okay, if 3 divides b square, then 3 divides b. This we can say from theorem 1.2. So these lines are same as these lines, so that's why. So 3 divides b square is our equation 2. Okay, okay. Now from 1 and 2, from equation 1 and equation 2, we can say that 3 is the common factor of A and B. Okay, so if 3 is the common factor of A and B, this contradicts the fact that A and B are co-primes. So we have assumed that A and B are co-primes. So co-primes is nothing but there should be 1 as common factor. But here we are getting 3 as common factor. That's why our assumption, that's why this is contradicts. That's why this contradicts the fact A and B are co-prime numbers. Therefore, our assumption is wrong or else false. So what our assumption? Our assumption is root. So what our assumption? Our assumption is root 3 is rational number, which is false. If root 3 is rational number, that is false, then root 3 is irrational number. Then we can say that, so root 3 is rational number. Sorry, irrational number. So hence proved. Okay guys, have you understood this one? Okay, now we'll see the next example, which is, so guys, our next example is show that 5 minus root 3 is irrational number. Now we have to prove that 5 minus root 3 is irrational number. So for this, what we will do, we assume 5 minus root 3 is rational number. Okay, so let us assume that 5 minus root 3 is rational. Okay, rational number. Okay, then if 5 minus root 3 is rational number, then it should be in the form of A by B. So then 5 minus root 3 equal to A by B, where A comma B belongs to Z means integers and B not equal to 0. Okay, now what I am doing, if you observe here clearly, here A and B belongs to Z, which means an integer. Okay, here 5 is also an integer, but root 3 is different when we compare to these terms. Okay, we can write this as minus root 3 equal to A by B. Here plus 5 is there. When it goes to that side, it will take minus 5. Okay, so then what I am doing, I am just converting all this term to positive. Then it will become root 3 equal to, okay, I'll do each and every step. I am just taking out minus as common. Okay, here also I am taking minus as common. Then 5 minus of minus plus A by B. Now you got understood this? Okay, then I am cancelling minus. Then what will left? Root 3 is equal to 5 minus A by B. So we can write it as 5 into B, 5B minus A divided by B. Okay, if you observe this clearly, here 5, A, B, these are all the integers. Integers are nothing but all positive and negative terms. Okay, so we can write it as since a comma b comma 5 are integers, then 5b minus a by b, this is in the form of p by q, so then 5b minus a by b is rational. Okay, is rational number. If 5b minus a by b is rational number, then root 3 also be a rational number. Then that implies root 3 is a rational number. But this is false. What we have proved in the previous theorem, example number 5, we have proved that root 3 is irrational. We have proved that root 3 is irrational number, so this is false. So this contradicts the fact that root 3 is irrational. Therefore, our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? Our assumption that 5 minus root 3 is rational is wrong. Therefore, 5 minus root 3 is a irrational number. Okay, hence proved. So this is the theorem. Okay, this is the example problem. Have you understood these, guys? Okay, now we'll see the next example, which is, so next example is, show that 3 root 2 is irrational number. Okay, so here given root 3 is irrational number, we have to prove. For that, what we are doing, we are assuming that, let us assume that 3 root 2 is rational number. Okay, if 3 root 2 is rational number, then 3 root 2 equal to a by b, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. Okay, now what I am doing here, I am just sending this 3 to that side, then it will become root 2 equal to a by 3b. Okay, root 2 equal to a by 3b. If you observe here, a by 3b, these are integers and it is in the form of p by q. Let's see. Since a, b, comma 3 are integers and a by 3b is a rational number. Why this is in the form of, if these are integers, so a and 3b is a rational number. If this is a rational number, then 2 also a rational number. Why? Because here equal is there. Then root 2 is also a rational number. But this is false. But we have proved in the theorem that root 2 is an irrational number. That's why we can write it as, this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational number. So our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? 3 root 2 is rational number is wrong. Therefore, 3 root 2 is irrational number. Hence proved. Okay, guys. So this is the last example of this. Okay, now we'll move to the next exercise, that is exercise number 1.2. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so next exercise is exercise number 1.2. Here first problem is prove that root 5 is rational number. So this type of problems we have done in the theorems. Okay, so root 2 and root 3 we have already done. So you can write it as it is same as the theorems. Still I will tell you here so that it will be revised for you. Okay, so if we have to prove that root 5 is irrational, first of all we'll assume that, let us assume that root 5 is rational number. Okay, we know that if it is rational number, then root 5 should be a by b. Okay, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. And also we are taking a comma b or co-prime numbers. Okay, so let's see this. Root 5 equal to a and b, then if I take b to that side, then it will become b root 5 equal to a. Now what I am doing, I am squaring on both sides. Then it will become b root 5 whole square equal to a square. Then b square means 5b square equal to a square. So here we can write it as 5 divides a square. Then 5 also divides a. So this we can say from the theorem 1.2. Okay, from theorem 1.2 we can say if p divides a square, then p divides a, like that 5 divides a square, then 5 divides a. Okay, now I am treating, so this is equation 1. Okay, if 5 divides a, it means 5 is the multiple of 5. It means a is the multiple of 5. Here let a is equal to 5 into c. Okay, now I am subtracting this 5 value here. Okay, that means 5b square equal to a square. In the place of a square, I am taking 5c square equal to 5c square. So 5b square equal to 5 5s 25, c into c square. So 5 1s 5 5s. Therefore b square equal to 5c square. Okay, here we can say, so this one we can write it as 5c square equal to b square. Okay, this is in the same form, that's why I have taken this one. So here we can say that 5 divides b square. Here 5 divides b square. So if 5 divides b square, then 5 divides b also. Okay, this is equation 2. So from 1 and 2 we can say that 5 is the common factor of a and b. Okay, 5 is the common factor of a and b. So 5 is the common factor of a and b. Then this contradicts. This contradicts the fact that a and b are co-primes. So therefore our assumption is wrong. So what is our assumption? Our assumption root 5 is rational number is wrong. Therefore we can say that if root 5 is, we can say root 5 is irrational number. So hence proved. Okay guys, now we'll move to the next problem. So our next problem is prove that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational number. So we have to prove that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational number. So this is same as it is as example 6 problem. Okay, so we'll do it again. Okay, if we have to prove that this is irrational number, first of all we'll assume that this is rational number. Okay, let us assume that 3 plus 2 root 5 is rational number. Okay, if 3 plus root 5 is rational number, then what happened? 3 plus 2 root 5 equal to a and a by b, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. Okay, so now what I am doing, I am just sending this 3 to that side. Okay, then okay, now what I am going to do, I am just sending 3 to that side. Then it will become 2 root 5 equal to a by b. Here plus 3 is there. When it comes to this side, it will take minus 3. Okay, then what happened? 2 root 5 equal to a minus 3 into b, 3b by b. Okay. Okay, now what I am doing, I am just sending this 2 to that side. Then it will take root 5 equal to a minus 3b by b multiplied by, here multiplication is there. When it comes to this side, it will be division. Okay, that implies root 5 equal to a minus 3b by b means 2b. Okay, so this is our equation. If you observe this, here a, b, 3 and 2, these all are integers. Since a, b, 2 and 3 are integers, okay, and a minus 3b by 2b is a rational number, So if this is a rational number, then root 5 is also a rational number. Then root 5 is also a rational number. But we have proved that root 5 is irrational number. So this contradicts to the fact that root 5 is irrational number. Okay, therefore our assumption is wrong. Therefore, so what is our assumption? Our assumption is 3 plus 2 root 5 is a rational number is wrong. Then 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational number. Okay, hence proved. Okay guys, now you got understood. Now we'll move to the third question of this exercise, which is, okay guys, so our next problem is prove that the following are irrational number. So here 3 problems are given: 1 by root 2, 7 root 5, 6 plus root 2. So now we have to prove that these 3 are irrationals. Okay, let's do the first one. A is 1 by root 2. If we have to prove that this is irrational number, let us assume that this is rational. Okay, let us assume that 1 by root 2 is rational number. Okay, is rational. So if this is rational number, then we can write 1 by 2 as a by b, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. So now what we can do here? Here in the denominator we have root 2. That's what I am doing. I am just multiplying and dividing by root 2 here. Okay. So this can be written as 1 by root 2 into root 2 by root 2. If I cancel this, the left will be this one only. Okay. We can write it as well. Okay. So we can write it as well. Okay. Equal to a by b. Here just see the next step. Root 2 into 1, root 2 divided by root 2 into root 2, which means 2. Okay, again I am writing, still I am writing root 2 whole square equal to a by b. Okay, here 2 and root 2 get cancelled, then root 2 by 2 equal to a by b. Now I'm just sending this 2 to that side, then it will become root 2 equal to 2a by b. If you observe this, here 2a and b are the integers. Since 2a, b are integers, okay, which means 2a and b are rational numbers. Rational numbers. Okay, if 2a by b is rational number, then root 2 is also a rational number. Then root 2 is a rational number. But root 2 is not a rational number, right? So because we have proved it already in the theorems and examples as well. So therefore this contradicts our assumption. Sorry, this contradicts that the fact root 2 is a irrational number. Irrational number. Therefore, our assumption which is 1 by root 2 is rational is false. Okay, so our assumption, what we have assumed 1 by root 2 is rational number. So our assumption 1 by root 2 is rational is false, means is wrong. Therefore 1 by root 2 is irrational number. Irrational number. Okay guys, so hence proved. We have proved. Hence proved. Now you got it. Now we'll see the next problem, which is 7 root 5. Okay, let's see this. So second question is 7 root 5. Okay, so we have to prove that 7 root 5 is irrational number. So let us assume that 7 root 5 is irrational, is rational number. So let us assume that 7 root 5 is rational number. Then what happened? 7 root 5 equal to a by b. Okay, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. Okay, then what happened? I'm just taking here root 5 and sending this 7 to that side, then it will become a by 7b. Okay, if you observe this part here a comma b comma 7 are integers, comma a by 7b is a rational number, So root 5 is also a rational number, but this is false. So this contradicts the fact that root 5 is irrational number. Therefore our assumption is wrong. Therefore 7 root 5 is a irrational number. Okay guys, hence proved. Okay, now we'll see the last one, which is 6 plus root 2. Okay, So here also we are assuming that, let us assume that 6 plus root 2 is rational number. Rational number. Okay, if this is rational number, then 6 plus root 2 equal to a by b, where a comma b belongs to z and b not equal to 0. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just sending 6 to that side, then root 2 equal to a by b minus 6, then root 2 equal to a minus 6b by b. Okay, if you observe this clearly, since a comma b comma 6 are integers and a minus 6b by b is a rational number, okay, so root 2 is also a rational number. So if this is a rational number, then this also a rational number, because equal is there. Okay, this equal to that equal to this. If this is rational number, then this one is also a rational number. That's why. But we know that root 2 is irrational number. So this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational number. So therefore our assumption is wrong. What is our assumption? We have assumed that 6 plus root 2 is rational number. So this is false. If 6 plus 2 is not a rational number, then it is a irrational number. So therefore 6 plus root 2 is a irrational number. Okay, hence proved. Okay guys, have you got this? So this is the entire chapter. I hope you all got understood and you all liked my videos. If you like it guys, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please do share with your friends also. Help each other to grow. Okay, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, take care. If you have any queries to ask me, please join me on WhatsApp, and I will give you the link in the description. Okay guys, thank you once again. Don't forget to press the bell icon for new updates. Thank you.